You can edit your flows to toggle between multiple languages depending on your contact's language preference. There's two ways to translate the flow. We can either translate our flow manually, or we can use our LLM or AI to auto-translate. First, let's go into our settings and add languages. From your landing page, go down to your settings. Right here, you'll see your default flow language. I have mine set to English right now. I'll click on that. Here is where you can add any additional languages that you want your flows translated to. Without updating this in your settings, you will not see the option to translate your flows. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and choose Spanish to add additionally. Click Save. Okay, now you can see that my default flow language is English and translations are provided in Spanish. So now when I go to my flow, you'll see here in the upper right-hand corner, I have the two different languages that I can switch between. Okay, so default, it goes to English, but what if I would like to send this flow in Spanish? I'll click on Spanish. Okay, so we have two options like I mentioned before. We can manually translate the flow, or we can use AI, which is down here. I'll get to that in a moment. So first, let's check out how to manually update. So I'll click on the alternative language, and then I have to go in. In red, you'll see the original language. Okay, so I go in and I type in the translation on my own, okay? All right, I can also go here. Okay, so I have to translate everything in red. Remember that we are not going to translate the variables. Those will stay the same. Okay. Okay, click OK. We can also update the category names. If you don't provide a translation here, they will just use the original language text, okay? Okay, now let's go in and see how we can use our LLM to translate this flow. This was a rather short flow, but you can imagine how much time it will take to translate an entire lengthier flow, which is why LLM is a great option for those longer flows. Okay, so we'll go into Spanish again. Instead of clicking on it and manually translating, I'll go down to this little gray icon that says Flow Translation. Okay, I'll click Auto Translate, choose your LLM. Okay, click Translate. All right, you can see here that it automatically translated my flow for me. So if the LLM cannot translate a certain part of your flow for whatever reason, it will show up in red as well. And then you can go in and still make edits to it. It's also a good idea to make sure you're reading how the LLM is translating it and make sure that it's the translation that you want. Okay, sometimes the messages can get tweaked when we're using auto translation in general. Okay, so you want to go in and make sure the original message still gets across. You can go in and edit that as well. Okay, I'm going to show you how you can update your contact's language preference from within the flow. We'll just build onto this flow we already have here. Okay, I'm going to go in and say, send a message. Okay. Okay. What is your preferred language setting? Please respond only Spanish or English. Okay. Then we're going to add a wait for response there with two options. English. We'll also write it in Spanish just in case. And then we'll have Spanish en español. Okay. We'll name the result language preference. All right. Now our contacts are either going to go down route 1 over here, and then we're going to go down update the contact. What do we update? The language. Choose, this was the English side. Okay. We'll do the same thing for the Spanish speakers on this route. Update the contact. Update the language. Now we're going to choose Spanish. Okay, if you have 3 or 4 languages, you can do the same thing. You're just going to have to create these multiple routes for your contacts. Okay, and then we'll send them both down this same route here that says, thanks, your language settings have been updated to, and I added a variable, results.language preference, okay? All right, if you have any further questions about flow translations, please feel free to reach out to us on our chat widget. We're always happy to help.